No, well, Nipsey is I call it classes. So Nipsey's from a younger class than me. I'm from a younger class than Nas and even Twista and Pharoah Monch. They came out before me, Common and all of that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really I know Nipsey's homies, and I was acquainted with Nipsey. My cousin knew him more. I didn't know him like that. I got a lot of friends from his neighborhood, obviously. Sure. I was just very impressed with him, man. I just thought he was what LA needed. Cause he could talk that shit, the hood shit, with his whole delivery and his choice of production is right in the pocket of where LA is at and was at. But he didn't just talk complete stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He talked, reinvested in, and recycling Black Dollar, closer to some Pac shit in that sense. You know what I'm saying? And the cool part about that particular song is, again, I met David Banner sleeping on Wendy Day's couch, and then he would go on to become David Banner, multi-platinum. It was back when we were younger. And he hit me one day, and he had this idea. So David says, he plays me a beat. He's like, man, I want to do this song about a dude coming to LA from Mississippi. So obviously that's him. He's like, and out of towners just think it's, it's soft out here. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to tell his LA story about how he think it's cool, but then it just really get off like some real crazy LA shit. And I want Snoop, and I want Nipsey, and I want, he had said somebody else. And I forgot. So the whole thing about that song is it couldn't be written by a lot of people. It had to be written by one person.
Sure.
Like the artist couldn't just say their verses because it had to tell this story. And so the easiest way was for one person to write it. It could, but they don't have to be in a studio together. Snoop busy as fuck. So, you know what I mean? So I wrote the story. I was able, so it's funny because I wrote it and then, I just did one all track of being Snoop. So I turned into Snoop and I wrote it sounding how I hear Snoop when I'm around Snoop. Sure. And I knew Nipsey, you know what I'm saying? So I wrote it purposely knowing how Nip and his neighborhood talked. And the coolest part, I wasn't there when they laid their shit, but there's a rep of me doing all those parts. And they pretty much they made it sound obviously 10,000 times better, but they nailed the timing, the word, they fucked it. They killed it, especially Nip, because I wrote his shit. It's flocking is when you do robberies. And it's really a thing that really only they neighborhood used to say, flocking. So when I say that part, his delivery on that part is spot on. It's exactly how I wrote it, but it's like being the dopest actor. He killed, he could win an Oscar just for how he said it, because I know his hood. So I was like, it geeked me out because everybody had the freedom to change up, whatever they wanted to, but he did it just like it because I captured that voice, but he did it. So it always makes me happy. Yo, man, having him feel comfortable enough. First of all of them to have enough faith in me to let me pin the story was really cool, and to trust it and not be like, nah, man, I'm gonna say, whatever. They're like, nah, that's dope. Let Ras write this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they delivered it perfectly. They killed that fucking record. It's one of my favorite things. Those are the things I like to do. Like I said, executive produce, write. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's conceptual shit like that. It was highly conceptual. If it would have just been, living in LA, then great. You can all talk about it. But this was like, we had to tell a story, and everybody fucking killed it. But Nip just, damn, you like his whole personality, just everything with it was so lit.
Sure. I mean, what was it like on the set of the music video?
Super fun, man. Yeah. Super fun.
I just you played a cop. I think you played a cop, didn't you?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be in the video, so I wrote that part for Eminem.
Right.
Or I really wrote it for Travis Barker. Well, Eminem, if possible, or Travis Barker. Thought it would be dope to have a tattooed undercover police officer. So I wrote that for Travis Barker. And then, like, of course, in its perfect world, Eminem. So I wrote it for him.
Yeah.
Just to down. That's why it's that little nasal tone. He just kept my original. Sure. So I was trying to do a little Eminem thing on it. But M couldn't do it and Travis couldn't do it. So then he's like, well, you got to be the cop. I'm like, really? I don't want to be the fucking cop. What? I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll be the cop, bro. My dad was a police officer. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll be my dad. I'll channel some of my father. Like, yeah. So it was fun. And then and the fun part was Snoop and them know I don't smoke weed. And so when on our first take, because I'm pulling them over for smoking weed.
Yeah.
What's in that cigar? Medical marijuana officer. I got a weed card. So when we did the first take, actually, because Daz is in the passenger seat, I think. And no, Banner's in the car. But I took the cigar, the weed from him, he was smoking it. And I hit it. And he know I don't smoke weed. So it's funny, he stayed in character, because as soon as they said cut, he like, oh shit, he told Daz, his cousin, he like, Ras Kass smoke weed, cuz. I'm like, I only do that shit once, nigga. I did that for the shot, nigga.
Wow.
So it was really, that was fun, just to, fuck dog head up, like Snoop was tripping, like, this nigga smoked for real. I was like, yeah, it was cool, man. A lot of brotherhood, man. And